Real quick, I just want to say a couple of words. I don't know if you guys realize this, and I don't know if our baseball players realize this, but I've been contemplating a lot about what it means to win a state championship. If you've looked around in our gym, I think, Cindy, you said we have 8? Cindy Riley, 8? We now have 8 state championships in the history of the school. And to win a state championship takes more than just talent. It takes more than just blessing. There's a lot of things that have to come into place. And so what you are experiencing today and what these young gentlemen over here have experienced last weekend is something that is truly rare. It puts these guys in a whole different playing field. Very few schools ever accomplish a state championship. That is a big deal. And I'd just like to comment real quickly on one other thing. If you know any of those guys, you know their character, you know their heart. When you get a team together, I don't care what sport it is, when you get a team together, a huge thing that makes a difference in whether or not the team is successful, let alone win a state championship, is the ability of those players to click, to be able to work together, to play together, to serve together, to honor each other. And so without going into a whole lot of detail, I can just tell you that happened this year with these guys. They did a tremendous job, not just out on the field, but in able to get along with each other, to work together, to submit to their coaches. And I hope Mrs. Riley says something about their coaches, because they've done an awesome job as well. In fact, give the coaches a round of applause. They deserve it. So I just want to pay a little bit of honor to the guys as you can just ask them how much work it was, how hard it was to be able to walk through the season and do the hard things in order to get to where they're at. And I want to just honor God in that, because it's truly God that has blessed these guys and allowed them to get to where they were. All right, Mrs. Riley, come on up. I'm going to hand the mic over to her.
Appreciate all you guys attending. This is awesome, and being an alumni, as Mrs. Riley said, this isn't just the baseball's championship. This is our championship, and you guys will look back. I look back at those banners and I look at them and say, not the 1994 team won soccer. I say we won soccer, and you'll be able to do that as well. So it's not just the baseball team; it's us as a Desert family. So, but along with that, it takes a lot of help to get there. And she talked about the assistant coaches, and I'm so grateful for them, and the team is too. And they brought us to a different level, but there's also other things like the administration, like Mr. O'Hare helping us build a field last year, in order to have a home field advantage, and Mr. Self providing counsel and wisdom and understanding to a baseball team that kind of had a hard time in the very beginning of this year. Mr. Smith, who's over at the middle school, who's out there at practices helping us, throwing batting practice for us, and helping me to be accountable to some goals that we've had. And Mrs. Riley, who has been, for those of you who don't know, is probably one of the best ADs in this state, and I'm very thankful to, because I don't know a lot of other ADs that would have had the faith and support that she's put into myself and to the team. And it's been a while, because it's been about 7 years. I've been the coach for 7 years, and we've had some ups and downs, but I think she has a window to God sometimes, and maybe a voice in there that says, keep going with these guys, because they may do something good one day. But I'm thankful to all of you guys and what you've done and helped us with. And last but not least, as an alma mater of this school, I'm so thankful to those boys for giving, this gift to the school and to myself. I tweeted out yesterday, there's no greater gift than winning a state title for your alma mater, and that's what Sam and myself were able to do. We played on baseball for this school. We love it. We're here because of it, and I'm just so grateful to you boys for working your tails off and accomplishing what you did. So, and to the student population, thank you guys for coming out and supporting us like you did. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Okay. Well, we're going to we're gonna kind of reenact what we've done all year at our home games, and we're gonna do some walk-up music for our coaches and players. We've had a really good time setting the stage out there. If you've ever been out to one of our home games, I think we have one of the best home atmospheres in high school sports. It's pretty awesome. If you didn't make it out to a game this year, please make a point of it next year. It's a great place to have a soda and a dog and watch a good baseball team play really good baseball. So, without any further ado, here are our coaches. We're going to start off with Sam Martin. Sam is in his 4th year as an assistant coach. He is a 1997 alum and was on the baseball state runner-up team of 1995 with Mr. Phillips. Sam helps in the outfield and bench coach during the games. He's also our director of media, making sure all stats are updated and newspapers have been contacted. Next, we'd like to introduce Jimmy Curtis. Jimmy Curtis is in his 3rd year as an assistant coach. Jimmy is in charge of the infielders and was the first base coach for a team that liked to run. Next, we got Mike Hansen. Mike is in his 1st year as an assistant coach. Mike was our official pitching coach, but was also in charge of practice plans and game strategies. Coach Mike had the dubious honor of teaching the players to dogpile. Having won championships before, he knew what needed to be done and how to do it right. And finally, for our assistants, Ryan Hansen. Ryan is also in his 1st year as an assistant coach. Ryan was primarily responsible for our outfielders, but he also helped with defense and base running strategies. Ryan had the great distinction of being the 3rd base coach for a team that led the state in most offensive categories. And finally, our head coach who picked this coach walk-up music, Mr. Hopkins, Coach Hopkins. Hoppy is in his 13th year as a coach for DC Baseball and his 7th as head coach. He was on the first baseball team in 1990, was the starting pitcher for our first ever baseball game against Phoenix Indian School, and Phoenix Indian School does not even exist anymore, so what does that tell you? Hoppy's the big boss, and he's in charge of all aspects of our program. And now to our players. Let's start with the freshmen. Our first one is Jonah Stiffy. Jonah's primary job was to warm up the pitcher before games, and in doing so, he just might have found his hidden talent. He had 3 wins pitching this year and was an excellent teammate, often leading the cheers from the bench. I hear there's something magical when Jonah's around, so please give it up for number 25, Jonah Stiffy. Next up, Jesse Schwartz. Nicknamed Big D Schwartz by his teammates, Jesse was the primary designated hitter this year. He drove in the first run in the championship game, and for those of you wondering, I don't know what this means, but yes, he does lift, bro. So please give it up for number 6, Jesse Schwartz. Next, we have Jacob the Magnet Rawson. Just so he isn't scared to come out here, we promised Jesse that no one would be trying to hit him with a ball. He earned that nickname because he was a magnet for getting hit by pitches, and he led the team in getting hit by a pitch 10 times. However, the highlight of his season is when the announcer on the championship game telecast acknowledged that he and his brother were, in fact, different people. So let's give it up one more time for number 20, Jesse Rawson. Jacob, sorry.
Jacob.
And next up, his brother, Zach Baker Rawson. Zach was the starting catcher from day one and did a phenomenal job blocking pitches and handling all of our different pitchers on the team. As a freshman, this is huge, as a freshman he hit over 400 for the season.
Woo!
And threw 25% of the runners who tried to steal out. So please get up one more time for number 8, Zach Rawson. And next, we're gonna go to the sophomores, and first is Tommy Man Ram McGuire. When Tommy was in the game, he made the most of it with 15 hits and 17 RBIs, oftentimes being asked to pinch hit in crucial situations. He probably still has a mark on him from being drilled in his at-bat at the championship game. So please give a warm round of applause for number 99, Tommy McGuire. And next we have Ryan Brady Phillips. We also called Ryan the Sledgehammer. Ryan played a different position in almost every game and played them at a very high level. He's the ultimate team player and never complained or expressed concern over his assignments. Ryan had a team-high 3 RBI in the championship game. So give it up for Ryan Phillips. Next up, we have Cameron White. Cameron had one of the best individual seasons in the history of the program. He broke the school record by hitting .548 and was involved in 15 double plays, including two in the championship game. He also has the best walk-up song on the team, contrary to what his parents think. So give it up one more time for number 22, Cameron White. Next we have number 11, Andrew Edwards. Andrew started the season as a relief pitcher but quickly moved on to a starting pitcher role. Andrew, while playing outfield, had likely the best catch of the year early in the season when he slipped going after a fly ball and caught it on his knees. Andrew was second on the team in RBI and was the winning pitcher in the championship game. So give it up for number 11, Andrew Edwards. Next up, Zach the Thriller Malice. Zach broke several of the schools and the state offensive records, including runs scored and RBIs, while being a great leader down the stretch. Zach was the winning pitcher in the semifinal game versus Pima and got the save in the championship game. Zach also became the first player in Desert history to play a full season without ever striking out. So give it up for 13, Zach Malice. And now, we go to the juniors, and we have Cole Cunningham. That's too bad. Well, I'll talk about Cole anyway. Cole threw the team's only no-hitter this year when he no-hit St. Augustine on March 16th. Cole battled some injuries and personal illnesses this season, but steadily improved and looking forward to being one of our big leaders next year. So next we have Garrett Hartung. Garrett was our primary designated runner this year, and if you have ever seen the speed in which he runs, you would know why. Garrett had the distinction as being the only player to break a part of his body when he broke his nose early in the season. However, when one of the coaches found the ball, it had all but disintegrated. So I wanted to tell you about how tough he is. So please give it up for Garrett Hartung. Next, Dalton D-Hop Hopkins. Dalton had one of the most important hits of the season when, in our home opener, he doubled with the bases loaded against Empire, scoring all 3 runs, taking us to a come-from-behind victory. He played a great center field and had 5 wins pitching, all while hitting .482 batting leadoff. So give it up for the last junior, number 44, Dalton Hopkins. And now to our seniors. First up, we have Calvin Smith. Calvin has worked as hard as anyone day in and day out for 4 years and started every game at first base this year. Calvin has become a great team leader and had a great at-bat in the championship game. With the bases loaded and no balls and 2 strikes against him, he fouled 2 tough pitches off and then hit a ball up the middle that wasn't handled properly and 2 runs scored on the play. Oh, and we won by 2. So please welcome number 24, Calvin Smith. And last but not least, Trevor George. Trevor earned the nickname Jenkins sometime during his freshman year, and no one is entirely sure why. Trevor batted 4th the majority of the season and made numerous great plays at third base. Trevor improved his batting average every year he played and finished the season hitting .447. Please welcome number 7, Trevor Jenkins George. Some important team notes. This team scored 395 runs this year, which is 125 more runs scored than any season in Desert baseball history. They either led the state or were in the top 5 in batting average, runs scored, runs per game, on-base percentage, RBIs, walks, and stolen bases. Several of those were state records. They were also in the top 5 or 10 in the nation in many of those same categories. Today, they stand in front of you having fulfilled the team verse in Hebrews, which called for their best attitude and their maximum effort on a daily basis. And because of that hard work and dedication, we call them the 2013 Division IV Baseball State Champions. And everything else. So, Mr. Hopkins thought it would be good for us to ask you this question first, Zach. How did it feel to be on the mound for the final out of the game?
Well, it felt pretty good.
Could you go into a little more detail than that?
As I lifted my leg to throw the last pitch, I knew it would be the last pitch. I don't really remember much after that. I threw the pitch, saw a miss, and nothing went through my head until I realized I was on the bottom of the dog pile, and that my shoulder hurt really bad.
We'll take it. You mentioned throwing the last pitch and knowing it was going to be the last pitch. What about the rest of the at bat? What were you thinking as the guy came to the plate, knowing, okay, we're 1 out away from a state championship here?
I didn't want to really let the thought that this was the last out get to me. I did know that it was the 9-hitter and that I didn't want the top of the lineup to get back up, so I really focused on getting that guy out, and luckily we did it.
Thank you very much. So let's ask this question, Zach. Hold on, you're not done yet. What does the team tend to do to calm their nerves? And is there anybody on the team in particular that tends to lighten the mood? And of course, remember, you're in front of a public audience here.
You know, when we're down in the slumps, what we like to do to get out of the slumps is hit bombs. And I think the one person that led this the most was Tommy. Tommy kept things light on the team. He made sure that anybody who was having a hard time, he picked them up. But no, as a team, when we got down, we made sure to pick each other up.
Well, thanks very much, Zach. All right, let's get our senior Calvin Smith out here. All right, so Calvin, what's it like being able to go out your senior year as a state champ?
Well, it's something I've always wanted. I mean, I've played in other state championships, and it's always been tough to miss the mark. But then to finally get it this year, it's just like high school's complete. I'm finishing up like I should finish it up.
Got the wrong, I don't know what happened. Where'd it go? Well, darn. I apologize. There we go, I think. Sure, you can do that. Yeah, I lost the email that had Coach Hopkins' questions in it. So, well, let's ask this question. You know, as a junior, sometimes you were in positions where you only got to pinch hit or got to pinch base run. How was it being able to then, as a senior, become a team leader, start every game, and then have that key at bat in the state championship game?
Well, I always knew I had to step up for my team. Just like being one of the only seniors, I mean, this is a really special team, so we kind of had to make it last and just make this our year. And then, I don't know, that last at bat, I was just thinking, well, this could be it, and if nothing happens here. So I really wasn't thinking about striking out or anything like that. I was just thinking, hey, I mean, I've been practicing for this, even though I haven't had that many chances in a game, so why not just show what I've been practicing and make it work here?
All right, well, obviously that's our bell, but I just want to very quickly affirm our team, and we're going to hand it over to Mrs. Riley because she's got something to give them.
On behalf of athletics and your school baseball team, here is your banner, your state banner for the gymnasium. Congratulations. Also, Dalton, can you get the trophy? Desert Christian High School, Mr. Self, the Desert Christian baseball team presents you with the 2013 Baseball State Championship Trophy. Congratulations to our team. Get some cookies and EGs. We are so proud of you, young men. Enjoy.